what's up? This is Rob, and this is RBND Reviews. And I've seen trailers for John Carter for months, and my first impressions were, who is John Carter, and why should I care? And I also felt like it seemed odd to have somebody from the late 1800s end up on a futuristic alien planet with humans, as well as aliens with 4 arms. And last year, Hollywood tried taking aliens and putting them into a Western setting with cowboys versus aliens, and it did only mildly well at the box office. But unlike that film, John Carter is based on the first book in a series that was written by Tarzan author Edgar Rice Burrough back in 1912. The story is pretty much, it's about a Civil War veteran who is transported to Mars, and he finds himself fighting for alien worlds that's not familiar to him. And this story of an ordinary human called to fight for a planet or a galaxy has influenced people like Flash Gordon movie serials from the 1930s with Buster Crabbe, where Flash Gordon was a football player who finds himself on the planet Mongo. He's from Earth, and he finds himself being asked to save this planet from the dictator-like Emperor Ming. There were the Star Wars movies with Luke Skywalker, where he's plucked out of his family farm and he's rescues a princess and he defeats the Empire. And of course, recently there was Avatar. Now, I kind of had low expectations when I went to the theater, since at that point I did not know that this was based off of a book that was written over 100 years ago. And it is easy to call this an Avatar knockoff if you do not know that the book for John Carter actually came first. And I gotta admit, the aliens looked a little too cartoon-like in the trailers on TV, kind of like in the Star Wars prequels. Plus, the title kind of sounded bland. But John Carter, I think, is a wonderful movie to look at, with impressive visuals such as the landscape and the architecture and the spaceships, as well as the bright, vibrant photography. It was nice to see the filmmakers use real locations rather than using just CGI ones made up in the studios, although you do get to see a bit of it in this movie. But the story is sometimes complicated, and I felt a little bit lost. And I think this is what caused me to lose involvement with the interest with the characters, and there was a lot to keep track of here. And there were 2 groups of humans, and I sometimes had a hard time separating them. And consequently, I did not feel involved in the story like I wanted to be. I had no attachments to the characters like I would with Flash Gordon or Luke Skywalker or Captain Kirk, but I did feel that I was in another world seeing completely different alien civilization. And the action scenes are entertaining. I really liked our little heroes banding together from different, backgrounds. We got the human earthling John Carter with the Princess Deja of the human kingdom, and Sola, one of the green aliens, while they're together on this little quest. And the chemistry between Carter and Deja I thought was good, and I really liked seeing the acting from both of them. They're both good at being bewildered by their environment that's around them, or when they uncover new information. John Carter, it's basically a space western that's really good to look at visually, and there's some good action, but the story seems like there was just too much, even for a 2-hour movie. Perhaps this would have worked better as a TV series, since there's, like I said, there's a lot going on, there's a lot of characters to keep track of, and sometimes you don't get to know the characters very well, and sometimes you forget who's who from time to time. But overall, I thought John Carter was a good but not great movie. I give it a mild see it in theaters verdict. If you like action movies and those types of movies, and a little bit of science fiction in here, I think it's mostly a fantasy film, but you do see some metaphors for different things like you would in a science fiction movie. If you like science fiction or fantasy, this might be good to check out, but the story, there's just a lot going on and it can be confusing from time to time. So, that's what I think of John Carter. And now, what did you guys think of John Carter, or what did you think of this video? Leave your comments, and I thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video.